If you notice that the background looks different, you're not crazy. The map, the map that's usually right there behind the stand, it fell down. I got to get some more tape. So no, you are not seeing things. It's definitely different. So today we have a situation. We have a Pokemon Sword and Shield, Bia, you know, the martial arts girl, and she made her anime appearance in the Pokemon Sword and Shield anime, and now people are claiming that the series has whitewashed her because her appearance is. We'll take a look. This is her in the anime. Like, here's an example. I literally cannot believe they whitewashed Bia in the Sword and Shield anime. I'm so mad. But I think there's a little bit more to this story. I think this might be a situation where Kotaku kind of finessed everybody because there really wasn't that much outrage about this. Now, I might have a weird take here because I am half asleep. I said yesterday I needed to get rest. I ended up binge watching Made in the Abyss, and I've got like 3 episodes left. I man, when that was first going on, I watched like the first episode and I was really bored. I dropped it. But once you get past the first episode, it gets more interesting. Anyways, so I might just be half asleep and thinking very strangely right now. But I think there's also a chance that this is actually fake outrage, mostly developed by Kotaku. Let me explain. First off, let me give a big thanks to GameWizard02, my buddy. Tips me off to many good stories. This one especially taken off, man. Good job on this. A lot of traction on this tweet. Compiled it neatly together, tagged me. I greatly appreciate that, Game Wizard. Thank you. Good work. And then we'll take a look. So I do appreciate Game Wizard sending me all this. Don't get the wrong idea. I'm not saying this is fake outrage because at this point, the outrage was starting to get legitimate. And you might be confused. What do you mean fake and then legitimate? Let me explain. So it looks like this story was pretty much broke on this blog, Asutru, and then Kotaku took the story. So Kotaku gets involved, and what's interesting is that Kotaku makes a headline titled "Pokemon accused." Excuse me, let me bring this a little better for you. Pokemon anime accused of whitewashing. That's the title of the Kotaku article. However, when I go to the Kotaku article and I read it, they don't really back that up. It's weird. That's the title. You think it would be an important thing, right? That would be like the main part of their report. But you go through the report, and they don't really show you where where people are blaming Pokemon for doing this. It links back to the blog, the Asutru blog, and then on that blog you do actually see literally just 7 tweets, and none of them really have more than literally 2 likes. So this is what Kotaku is claiming: Pokemon anime accused of whitewashing by 7 random people on Twitter who don't get more than 2 likes. So I really think Kotaku may have developed a situation here where they basically reported on outrage that was so minimal. It was pretty much non-existent. But then after Kotaku picked this up, then people legitimately started trying to get mad about the situation. For example, you go over to Reddit and you see, now people on Reddit are posting about this. You get one post in particular that is quite outraged. So let's take a look at that one. So the post, we're not going to read the full thing because it's redundant. Basically, the person starts off with a little bit of a compliment towards Pokemon, and then they spend the next 5 paragraphs saying like why this is problematic. This Bia thing is problematic. And this is a technique that you see often with outrage culture enthusiasts. They'll pretend to be a fan of something, and they'll usually start off like, well, I'm actually a huge fan of this, or I was a huge fan of this. And this can be anything. It can be a product. It can be a company. It can be a YouTube channel. And then they go off and say like why it's problematic. So, there are occasionally times where someone who authentically is a fan of something has complaints, of course. But a lot of the time, outrage culture enthusiasts really do use this tactic. And they never were a fan of the thing. They just try to get additional leverage by appealing to the emotion. And I think this is especially scummy when they do it to individuals, whether it be a YouTuber or just an individual running a business, whatever it is, an individual. Because at that point, it just seems like they're blatantly trying to target that person's emotions. If they do it to a company, it's still scummy, but a company, you're not targeting one person. When you're targeting a single person, whether it be, again, their business or a YouTube channel, whatever it is that person's doing, and you say, I was a fan of their work, but now I'm not because X, Y, and Z, it's basically just an attempt at grabbing their emotions and trying to make them listen to you even more. Or even worse, and this is the case a lot of the time with these weirdos, they're just trying to hurt people. So they'll say, yeah, I was a fan until you did this, you bigot, for example. It's ridiculous. So this person has an exceptional post, and I just want to highlight this part because, oh my gosh, they say, Light skin as a beauty standard is a feature of Japanese culture, but it overlaps with global attitudes of whiteness and beauty when exported. Saying, but that's what the Japanese like, also ignores the fact that such a standard is problematic in Japan itself. So overall, this is an important conversation to start having. This person claims that Japan is problematic because of their taste. So, and that alone is a giant generalization. They are painting Japan with a giant generalization, which you could argue is bigoted in of itself. And then they go on to say why that's problematic because they're judging it by Western standards. It's so hypocritical, man. People like this are truly some of the worst. And I'm being a bit hyperbolic with that. I mean, there's terrible people out there. Is this random Redditor who has a terrible take really one of the worst people out there? Probably not. But, you know, it's disgusting nonetheless. And then you have one random person with a terrible hot take like this. And then you have, you know, other people with the same mentality spewing the same kind of nonsense. And then they try to co-opt people, usually young people. They go after kids in high school and stuff and try to get them with the same idea. And then you see how the media plays into it too, like Kotaku here potentially painting an issue out of a non-issue. And now you have these weirdos all making an issue out of something that never was an issue to begin with. Now, of course, that's just my theory of what's going on here. You don't have to agree with it or not. And I'll admit, like I said, I'm kind of half asleep right now. But this is how I see it, man. And it's a disturbing perspective to have. Anyways, you have this Twitter user, LastRaven1985, posting some pictures of Bia's league card. If you don't know what a league card is, basically when you're playing the game, every trainer can make a card that kind of showcases like themselves and what they've accomplished. So these are Bia's league cards, I guess. You got 193. That's her number. So you can see that, you know, the tone is a bit lighter than, for example, her appearance in the gym battles, which you can see right here. So a lot of it comes down to the lighting and that sort of thing. I really don't think there's an issue here. And some people are acting like there is a massive issue here. That, again, that one Reddit user, which that was one of the most upvoted posts on that subreddit, specifically, let me rephrase that. That was one of the most upvoted posts in the post about this topic on that subreddit. And you can see, I mean, look for yourself, man. If you're audio only, we're comparing 4 different pictures, actually 5 different pictures of Bia, 2 from her league cards and 3 from gym battles. And the tone is different a little bit. Not in all of them. I mean, 2 of them, they kind of have the same tone. The other 3, it's a bit darker. So it really is kind of a non-issue, in my opinion. And I do kind of blame Kotaku for this. But again, it's just my opinion. I'm not saying that they definitively did anything. This was intentional. But, I mean, come on. The outrage really didn't seem like it was there to begin with, Kotaku. So, I don't know, man. Yeah, there's a picture from the anime, apparently. So, if you didn't catch that at the beginning of the video when we scrolled by it, there you go. So as you can see, I mean, it's definitely, the picture is lighter, but she's outside. It's different lighting, so it's not really a fair comparison. And regardless, it's not that big of a deal. Also, something I point out in my write-up here on the Mnet is that these people always want the cake, and they want to eat it too. For example, they get mad when Bia, maybe she's lighter in the anime, but when a character is like darkened up or something, whether it be anime or cartoon, whatever it is, cosplay, they praise that. So how is that fair? If you want to claim that people should be equal and all this sort of thing, but then you're going to bash one rendition of a character and support the other one when they're both different, that seems completely disingenuous. And that's really the best way for me to put it. I could use other words here. I could be a bit more prolific in what I'm saying. But I guess there's not any reason to go that far. I think y'all understand, hopefully, what I'm getting at. And that's one of the most disgusting things about me, too, is the hypocrisy from people like this. So there's a number of gross things going on with the story. Potentially Kotaku being gross, circulating an issue that never was an issue. Then these weirdos making an issue out of something that was not really an issue because they saw a Kotaku article on it. And Kotaku's a pretty big website. Now this actually is getting talked about. And now these people who are so boring and don't have apparently anything better to do at the time that they have complain about this complete non-issue. And again, they would be fine if it was the other way around probably, and that's where we're at. That's really it for this report. It's kind of a weird and interesting one, I guess. But I hope you enjoyed. Sorry if my energy was a little bit low, but I think I made all the main points I wanted to. And that's the other benefit of me also writing a report on this before I record. It kind of helps me keep track of things. So I'd like to give a shout out to the kind people who promoted yesterday's video over on Twitter. If you promote it elsewhere, like Reddit, for example, thank you very much. System only tells me when it's on Twitter. Although right now I'm doing a manual search, and I saw a comment from Phoenix. I think it was Phoenix, who said, I've been missing him, so sorry about that. And I don't see it in the search here either, Phoenix. But shout out to Phoenix, Ishra, Ryu Mao, Superspeed 21YT, Sharon Y, Simon Bar Brisboys, Amethyst Sukiyama, Carvasu, Tamaki Suo, Annie May, Fanto, Intimidator 0108, DXDKJ, Empath Studios. Man, what are we gonna, dude? Ravenwood, your name's gonna run out. You're gonna run out of letters at some point, man. I mean, we'll see what happens then. I guess we'll probably just reset it or something. I don't know. Who knows? We'll see soon enough. Anyways, thank you all for tuning in. Catch you in the next one.